Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I want to do a comparison video of the various Hornet models. Okay, right now the F7C Mark II is available for purchase, but if you do the overdrive missions, you get a chance to get the F7A Mark II. Okay, so the A is the military variant, and that variant CAG isn't really selling. So I kind of want to ask the question, is the A worth it? Kind of part of the whole deal with the F7A is that you only get the upgrade bound to your account. Okay, so that essentially means that you have to start off by buying an F7C Mark II and then applying the upgrade. But each account only gets one, unfortunately. And if you apply the upgrade and then melt your ship, you don't get that upgrade back. So that basically means that if you do the event and you get the F7A Mark II upgrade and you apply it to your F7C, you can't really melt it, because if you do, you'll lose the F7A military variant. So is it worth getting the F7A military variant at all? Or should you just stick with the F7C so you can melt your ship whenever you want and buy it back whenever you want? Now, a lot of people have been doing different loadouts with the F7C, and it is a very versatile ship. That's one of the things that I really like about the Hornet line in this game, is that it is one of the most upgradable ships in the game. You can add a ton of different guns to it, and the way it starts off is pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but then you can equip it in as many different ways as you want and run various different loadouts and be very effective with it. Okay, and the F7C is no different than the original Hornet. So yes, of course, the original Hornet is still available to purchase, and the F7C is pretty pricey right now, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. It's coming in at 175. I really wish CIG would have made it closer to 150. The Mark I body style has gone up in price. I believe it's 125 now, so it's a little bit more pricey. But if you kind of compare that to a Saber, it's kind of comparable. The Saber's around that price, and the Saber's also a medium fighter. So I wanted to do a comparison of all the different models as well, because a lot of people have also been asking the question, does this kind of make the Super Hornet irrelevant? And I talked about that in my last video, but I actually wanted to get into the numbers in this video. So if that seems like something that's interesting to you, then stick around and let's get into the numbers. Okay, so to kind of kick things off, I'm using a website here called DPS Calculator. I'll leave a link to it in the video description below if you guys want to check the DPS of your ships and compare and contrast what loadout you might be interested in running. It has options for basically all of the guns and ships in the game, and it's honestly really awesome that they went ahead and updated this for new ships that just came out. So go and show some support to you know, this website and the people running and operating it. Okay, so right off the bat, I wanted to take a look at the military variant first, the F7A. This is the more rare version of the ship. This is the military variant, the one that will be in Squadron 42. Okay, and as you can see here, this is basically stock. Okay, it has the nose turret, it has the AD-4B Gatlings, it has its specific turret, and 2 size 3 Panthers. Okay, for a total DPS output of 3344. And then of course you have almost 20,000 damage with those 8 size 4 missiles. We can see right here, which that would be very effective. Okay, And then we have 3,000 for the shields. Okay, you have 2 size 1 shields. So this is a very effective ship. So what I did, and we'll take a look at it now, is I kind of made a similar loadout for the F7C Hornet Mark II. Okay, changed a few things around. Now, according to, you know, some players, is that you can get the F7A weapons mounts on the sea. Okay, but we're going to talk about why you might not want to do that in a second. And that's, well, let's just get into it now, because it'll kind of help me explain why I chose this loadout for this ship. And of course, I know a lot of people are running and trying different loadouts, and we'll get into that to try to see how we can configure this thing. Okay, so right now it's sitting at 3269, which is not that far off of the A, but it's running very different loadout. Okay, so we have those 2 size 4 AD4Bs on the wings, just like the A, but I went with a size 3 Panther and 2 size 2 Badgers. Now, the reason why I went for this is because I feel like this is a pretty good balance between energy weapons and ballistics. And in my personal opinion, the C civilian variant really needs some type of ballistic weaponry on here, because with that, the way that its power plant kind of works is that it's got 2 size 1 power plants, okay, versus the A's 1 size 2. And so with that 1 size 2, that's equivalent as 4 size 1s in the current iteration of how components work. So there are trade-offs with that. The primary benefit is that you have a much larger ammo pool. The downside with that is that you would have slower regen. So the benefit with the Hornet, the F7A, is that your weapons will have more ammo, but they will have a slower recharge rate, because the civilian variant has 2 power plants, right? So your recharge rate is going to be higher, but you'll be the 2 size 1s, so your ammo pool is going to be lower. Total output is less, but because you have 2, the regen is faster. I believe that's how it works. Correct me in the comments down below if I'm totally wrong. Okay. But as we're seeing in game right now, is that as stock, the Hornet with 2 size 4 energy weapons, you have around 32 ammo, and that gets cut significantly the more energy weapons you put on there. Okay, so if you really want to get the most out of the ship, you're going to want to put those AD4Bs on the wings, just like the A. And once you do that, your DPS jumps up a lot. And you can see right here, you've got 1150 ammo per gun. So that's a lot of ammo for those ballistic weapons. You know, if you have that trigger discipline in combat, and I mean, for this comparison, I would say that we're speaking strictly for PvE content, fighting NPC ships. For PvP, I haven't tested that or tried it out at all, so I really can't speak to that. But when it comes to PvE content, this, in my opinion, is kind of all you need. Okay, if you put those 2 ballistic guns on there, there pretty much isn't any NPC ship in the game that you're not going to be able to kill. Okay, but okay, so the benefit of having the energy weapons on there is that you can kind of keep the pressure on this ship and keep its shields down. Okay, so what I've kind of been seeing about this ship is that it hits hard enough, okay, even with the energy weapons. But the problem is you run out of ammo and you end up having to wait to recharge. And in that time period, your opponent has the ability to recharge their shields. Okay. And it kind of becomes a game of cat and mouse where you're trying to take down your opponent's shields consistently, and you're running out of ammo and it's getting time to come back up. So I think kind of the best loadout in that situation is to have those energy weapons that can take the shields down, or and then really finish them off with ballistics. Okay, or just get ballistics, you know, and you know, just ruin their day. I've seen some people with loadouts of the ship where instead of, you know, having two size 2s on the ball turret, they get the turret mount that has that extra size single weapon on top. So I've seen people running 3 AD4Bs, so it's just primarily a ballistics loadout, and in that case, you know, that's a ton of DPS. But again, it's one of those things that presumably you're going to be able to equip with the F7A Mk II as well. So right now, as far as I know, that all of these hard points are interchangeable between the ships. Okay, but the difference is that I believe you can't buy the F7A nose mount right now. Again, correct me in the comments down below if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen it in shops. Let me know where you can buy it if you have seen it in shops and you can buy it. But I know some people have been getting them through missions. So again, for right now, that the major difference is going to be your ammo pool, because you've got those 2 size 1s versus that 1 size 2. So putting more ballistics on there is really going to make up the big difference here. Okay, same shields, you do have less missiles. Okay, you have 8 size 1s versus 8 size 2s. Okay, so the A can technically do more missile damage, you know, once missiles become, you know, really good. But other than that, again, if we're talking strictly PvE content here, I really see no reason to go for the A. And so kind of my thought process behind it is, I know you guys see me test out a lot of ships in the game. And the way that I can do that is that, you know, I've been playing this game for a long time. I'm a very old backer. I backed in, you know, 2013, I believe. And I've been, you know, putting money in this game little by little over the years. It's not something that, you know, I see a ship like this and I just buy it. What I do in these situations, especially with the channel and making content, is that because of Star Citizen's buyback program, I just melt ships and then buy the new thing and make a video about it. So it's not like I'm dropping, you know, all this money. $175 is a lot of money, especially for a digital spaceship in a video game. But again, if you put, you know, $20 into your account every month over 10 years, that definitely adds up. So I've never in my life spent $100 in this game at one time. I've never done that. It's accumulated over time, doing upgrades and whatnot. And because of the buyback program, I can melt my ships. I can buy these new ships and test them out, and then just buy back the ships that I want to have in my fleet permanently. So as much as I like the F7C, and it is a ship that I believe, you know, I would keep in my fleet permanently, there is that, you know, opportunity cost here, because I do want to have the ability to melt it and buy another ship to make content, make a video with that ship. And $175 is a lot of money, and I could potentially buy several ships and make several videos for you guys. And that's not an issue because I could always just buy back the ships in my fleet whenever I want. With store credit, of course, there is that that window. You get 4 opportunities to buy back, you know, things with store credit. So I take that into account. But the game's not out yet, so I'm not really that worried about buying back ships in my own personal fleet right now. It's, you know, still an alpha, and I like to play with different ships. Okay, it's a ability to test things out, make content. It's fun. But the issue with the A is that, again, like I said earlier in this video, once you apply the upgrade, you kind of lost it. So realistically, if I did do the overdrive missions and got the upgrade and applied it and made one video about it, I have 2 options. I can keep the ship forever or melt it and lose that upgrade forever. And in my opinion, that's not really worth it. It's a lot of effort. Now, the overdrive missions are fun, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I am definitely a busy person, and yeah, I don't know if you guys would be in the same boat or kind of thinking about weighing your options if you know, should apply an upgrade. I really do think that, you know, CIG should, I don't know, make it an actual item and not an upgrade, so you can melt it. Again, it's unlike a situation with the F8 Lightning, because the F8 Lightning is a whole ship, so you can just melt it and buy it back. And I've done that. I bought the F8. I made a video about it. Again, I bought the F8 with store credit. I didn't spend real money on it. I made a video about it, and then I melted it so I can do more videos with other ships. And as a content creator, you know, I think that makes the most sense. So I don't think I'm going to go for the A. Again, I want to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. What are you going to go for? So the big difference is going to be those hard points on the wings that go from size 3 to size 4. And for the price of the Super Hornet, really the advantage here is that you can put a friend in the back seat and they can operate the turret, and you can attack 2 targets at one time. That's the real advantage with the Super Hornet, kind of like the Scorpius. But yeah, personally, I think it's a lot of fun having that DPS to yourself, and flying in a squad, flying in a fleet with your friends. I really think that, I don't know, you know, CIG still has to do some balancing with the multi-crew fighters, but 2 Mark II Hornets versus 1 Super Hornet, I mean, if your friend has a Mark II Hornet that he can fly with you, that's gonna be a devastating duo right there. Yeah, and for PvE, I think that Mark II is going to be what you're going to want to look at. Of course, you know, what does this mean for the Saber? I don't know. Saber's still a good ship. Saber's still a great ship. It's kind of running along in that price range. I think right now that the Mark II C is kind of meta. I shouldn't say that. That's very controversial. Some people are going to take that the wrong way. But as we all know, that when a new ship comes out, everyone's kind of, they want to test it out. They want to put it through its paces and see what this ship is all about. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on right now. And I think it's warranted. It's a good ship. There are some concerns about its atmospheric performance, and right now the Mark I is kind of bugged because it can pull more Gs. Again, a lot of this stuff is going to change with master modes coming out in 3.23 whenever that comes out. So I think that there's a lot to look forward to. I think, you know, me personally, this is a ship that I'm probably going to keep in my fleet long term. Pocket in the Polaris, take it to Pyro, do some PvE content. I feel like that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. that's going to be it for me here today, you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for liking and commenting under the videos. It really means a lot to me. I have a lot of fun making these videos, hanging out with you guys and talking to you guys about this game that we all love, Star Citizen. So like I always say at the end of these videos, you guys, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Salute.